everybody, and welcome. My name is Ashley, and thank you for joining me today. So today I'm just going to jump right into it. We are going to be reworking this side border, and we call it the al fresco border. I know al fresco means outside, but it's along our dining table area. So it means a lot to me. This is where we sit and enjoy family meals, and when people come over, we host a lot out here. So this area is important for it to look its best. And I'm going to show, today we're going to be revealing a lot of uglies. This is like what I don't really want to show on my channel. I think we all have these areas, but this area in particular has kicked me up the backside. And it's mainly because, so I planted these hydrangeas. So step number one, we're going to be addressing these hydrangeas. We're going to get our main plantings in. So hydrangeas are shrubs. So we're starting with our shrubs. And as you can see, all of the blooms are on the ground. And I just don't love that. Look at this weeping habit. And, you know, if I bought hydrangeas that I wanted to have this weeping habit, that would be fine. But this hydrangea in particular, I don't even think it was a name brand. I bought them from High Hand a couple of years ago, and they were literally just labeled like pink panicle hydrangea. So I don't even think that there's a patent or anything on them. They get peed on frequently. So another issue with this area is it's a high dog traffic area. And when they come out the back door, they come across this patio. And this is like one of the first areas that they go potty. So I've been struggling to keep anything alive. And if you follow me over here, I have underneath the arches of our trellis that we actually inherited with the home. And this is a potato vine, and I absolutely love it. You can see there's little buds on this even coming in now. There are these delicate little beautiful flowers all year round. I mean, they have their big flush in the spring, and then they just continue to send out these beautiful little flowers all year round. So I highly recommend this shrub. I love it. I love this trellis area. And underneath the arches here, I have a little bit of a salvia. And it's just your basic salvia that gets about 4 feet tall or so. The honeybees, the bees love this thing. I have verbena mixed in right here. I hope verbena doesn't get harmed in the process of this. And then I have another one of these hydrangeas that just droops. Doesn't really have an upright posture, and it just kind of hangs. And as you can see here, I have this salvia. I actually want the salvia to stay, but all of my blooms are hanging on the bottom. I actually tried to, this is Hydecoat lavender, I think is how you pronounce it. And I tried to make a really beautiful full border of Hydecoat lavender. However, as you can see, here's a dead one. It really couldn't withstand the dog pressure. And actually, I had this bed completely planted up 2 years ago, and it was really beautiful and really doing well. And then we had a litter of puppies come through and literally just destroyed it completely. They were chewing on plants, they were ripping them out of the ground and dragging them around, and they are so cute. In fact, I'm going to insert a video right here so that you can see a little bit of a glimpse into what life is like raising 3 litters of puppies. It was interesting. And also, if you have children present, I do let one profanity slip. I was a little stressed out in the moment, but enjoy the video, and earmuffs for little ones if they're around you.
Well, maybe you guys shouldn't all and then roll in it.
Getting back to this planting area, hardly anything has survived. And I have to figure that out. And I actually think that what I'm going to do to protect these the new things that I'm going to put in, is I'm going to have to just maybe do like a little homemade twill, like woven shorter fence that will discourage them from like hiking up their leg and urinating in this exact spot. Or maybe I even go a little bit more aggressive and just try to like do a small chicken wire fence to try to discourage them from going and using this bed until I have like more established plants that can kind of handle that. So for right now, we're going to be ripping out these hydrangeas because I know this is not working for me. This is like underwhelming. This is just underwhelming. And what are we going to be planting up in their stead, you may ask yourself? And well, here is my gorgeous reveal. These are from the Southern Living Plant Collection. These, we have some yellowing leaves that I'm just kind of picking out. And it's probably just the stress of being in these pots. But from the Southern Living Plant Collection, these are white wedding hydrangeas. And I was so excited to finally get my hands on them. And they had 5 at our local garden center, and I've never seen Southern Living hydrangeas there before. I literally bought all of them up. Sorry to everybody else who came after me. It had to be done. There was no way around it. So as you can see, if you get down into the base, so it's more, I would say that it's the stems, first of all, are very strong and very upward facing, which is what I am looking for. And I know that like the Limelight, the Proven Winners Limelight hydrangea, they also have very upright stems, but I feel like this is better branching and a better interior look, I feel personally, and just my personal taste. And I have many Limelights, and I love my Limelights, and I'm not ripping them out or replacing them. I'm just saying I think I found my treasured hydrangea. This is a panicle hydrangea. It starts out white. It turns like a creamy yellow. I anticipate that they're going to go a more green as the season progresses. They start out little green as well. And they are just better. They have stronger branches from the base. They're upward shaped, and I feel like they are better branching around the top, meaning more blooms. And I'm sure that there's a way that I could cut my Limelights in such a way in like late winter, early spring, that I could have that look as well. I just haven't quite mastered that with those yet. So we are going to be ripping out these hydrangeas. And in this spot right here, so there's 3 hydrangeas that need to be taken out. This area has lost every single plant I've put in it, because the dogs like to come and go to the bathroom right here, and I have to find a way to prevent that. So I've been shaping up, this is a loropetalum that actually started out really small. We inherited it. I didn't plant this loropetalum, but I do love it. I love its darker foliage. Like, it's a keeper. But if you can look in and see, it's grown into the potato vine, and it actually is like really stuck between the trellis and the back fence, and it doesn't get a lot of light. So it's just, this is not an ideal location for where it was planted to be able to reach its full size and potential. So we have to figure out a way this fall to move this loropetalum, and I love it. I just haven't quite figured out exactly where it's going to go yet. But it is a beautiful piece. I've been limbing it up to make it more, and actually you can't really see it right now, but I will limb it up and show you guys what it looks like, because whenever you have shrubs, they're just going to send out so many shoots from the base. So you really just have to, a few times a year, come out and just cut all these little bits off so that you can see the architecture of the shrub, which is actually just beautiful. So I may put this 4th hydrangea in right now. However, with the anticipated difficulty that I know that is going to be moving this, we may wait on this final hydrangea to put into place, because this is going to be quite the beast to move, not just ripping it out, but being able to preserve its roots and do it justice and be able to move it safely to another location. So I think that we'll probably need all the space that we can get with this moving forward. So let's start ripping out those hydrangeas, and I think it's going to feel really good. I know a lot of you are probably not going to love me ripping out hydrangeas, and I feel a little bit like a snob. Like, who doesn't like hydrangeas? Who turns their nose up to them? I never thought I would see the day, but these ones, not great. They gotta go. If you don't love them, set them free or put them in your compost pile. Okay, so I'm going to get a shovel and we're going to start to just rip them out. This is probably going to take a longer time because I'm going to break down exactly how I plant my hydrangeas. I use a lot of chicken manure compost in that, and we have irrigation lines here. The lighting right here in this area is actually perfect. So this is facing east to west. So the sun rises in the east and sets in the west behind us. So by the time it's afternoon, they get morning sunlight, and then afternoon comes and they get shaded by this trellis and then shade for the rest of the day. So I really feel like for hydrangeas to have the most ideal location in our entire garden and still perform so underwhelmingly, I don't really have a lot of compassion for that. So let's rip them out. Whenever I get my shovel out, the duckies are never far behind. They love seeing me dig, and they love being able to grab the worms. And we have lots of jumping worms, so I really do need their help. So let's get started, girls. Let's do this. Come over here, girls. That's phase one complete. Hydrangeas are out of the ground. The ducks have had their fill of jumping worms, hopefully, and on to the next. And hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll get these hydrangeas in the ground, and I will show you guys how I plant them with lots of chicken manure. Hi everyone, and welcome back. I would love to say that this is the next morning and we're continuing on. However, it's been just a little over a week now. I've been very ill this week, and I've just taken the time to recover in bed, and it's been wonderful. But I'm very excited to get back out and get these beautiful white wedding hydrangeas planted. They have started to really droop during the day as the day progresses. So in their plastic, nursery cans, they are just not able to keep in the moisture. They'll be better off in the ground. And even in a week's time, actually, it's kind of perfect because the weather has cooled off nicely. I think we have finished our 90-degree temperatures. So, all right, I'm going to show you how I plant hydrangeas. And normally, I am kind of a little bit tougher on my plants. However, I do really baby my hydrangeas. As you can see here, I make sure that each hydrangea has a line of irrigation running right past it. And if you don't see it on the other ones, it's because it's buried under mulch, which I like. However, this is a good illustration. If this tends to be enough for our hydrangeas. If, however, it appears not to be enough, I can always put a gallon or 2 gallon an hour emitter into one of these to make sure that they get extra water. However, I'm just going to play it by ear and see how they go. So we have drip irrigation, and this drip irrigation during the heat of things, we have it on twice a day in the morning, 15 to 20 minutes in the morning and 15 to 20 minutes at night. However, I'm starting to ease off of that because it just hasn't been so blazingly hot. So it's just about knowing your garden. It's just about watching them every day and seeing how they do. One size doesn't necessarily fit all. All I'm doing is trying to give you a rough guide for what works for me, and what works for me is I just keep an eye on things that I plant. So for these hydrangeas, after I get them in the ground, I'm going to come and check on them. If I'm home in the afternoon, if I'm not at work, I'm going to come out and, just check on them, give them an extra drink if they need an extra drink. They are not going to really be able to right away in the first few weeks be able to put on an expansive root system. So I really need to take care of them. Another thing, so in Northern California here, we have heavy clay soil, and that actually works out really well for hydrangeas because hydrangeas really need a lot of water and they like things on the moisture end of things. So the clay soil has a lot of nutrients in it, and B, it really helps hold in that moisture so it's not just running, through the ground and away from them. So that is really helpful. So normally with my plants, I will plant them. I will just dig an adequate size hole for them to immediately be able to touch down in native soil. I'll put down some Sure Start, like I do with all things, just a little fertilizer on the roots to help get them going. But I really don't put any compost or any soil during the planting. And I just, they got to figure it out. They got to hit the ground and be able to fly, and I don't baby them. However, the hydrangeas, I like to mix in a lot of organic matter. Hydrangeas they like a lot of organic matter. So the first thing is I always use the chicken manure compost from Lowe's. I love that stuff. I've had wonderful results with it. My hydrangeas all seem to really love it. I'm going to mix some of my native soil back into it, but I'm going to use heavy chicken manure compost, mix in with a lot of the Sure Start, and we're going to get going. Thanks, girls. Look at that. That's beautiful. Not too root bound. I'm actually not going to do anything to this root system. I'm going in heavy with the Sure Start. And now I'm just going to backfill with a lot of my native soil and a lot of the chicken manure compost. So that's pretty much all there is to it. I should have prefaced this by saying that I watered them really well before I planted them, and now I'm going to go in and with the hose, I'm just going to really water in this hole and make sure that if there are any air pockets that still exist, we are like getting that soil compacted down. We don't want any air pockets for our roots. All right, so I'm going to make quick work of the other two hydrangeas. We're holding off on the fourth hydrangea till we can move the Laura petalum, which should be very soon. And then we're going to get these in. Let's go. So I'm really happy with how they look. I love these hydrangeas, and I recommend if you guys have access or see them around, pick them up, give them a try, because I really think these are something special. I think these are winners, but I'll let you know how it goes. And once again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope it inspires you to get outside and to get into beauty and nature today. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me.